Hello, Virgos, and welcome to this, your May 15th through May 31st reading and predictions. A very warm welcome to each and every one of you. If you wouldn't mind hitting that like button and subscribing to the channel so that we can get these messages out to more people, I'd really, really appreciate it. And in return, please watch all the way until the end. And I have a special treat for you. I will be pulling cards for you from my Yes No deck in order to answer your most burning questions. All right, let's take a look. Your last reading, I'm just calling up my notes here. We had a little bit of a wild ride for your last reading. We had the Tower, we had the Devil, there was an indication that you needed to dive deeper into your relationship with material goods, with the financial world. But the end of this wild reading that we had for you, you had the ordinariness card, bringing you back down from this wild ride at the beginning of May to taking a deep breath here in the middle of May as I sit here and do this reading for you. So let's dive in and take a look at where you are at now. What is going on for you? Oh, wow. We've got cards jumping out everywhere. There is no way I'm reading that many cards for you here, Virgo. So what we're going to do in just a moment is collect up all of these crazy cards, and then we will shuffle them all up and see what's really going on. But based on this many cards jumping out and going completely wild like this, I'm questioning if your wild ride is finished or not. I mean, your last reading started off wild. Looked like you were going to try and manifest some ordinariness, but according to this many cards for where you're at now, oh my goodness, Virgo. All right. Mix them up one more time. Okay. Cards. Could we please have 2 or 3 cards for where the Virgos are at now? Second time through the deck, third time through the deck. Anything else? Right. We have 3 cards that have jumped out for you. Interesting. All right. We have the Knight of Wands. The Knight of Wands is a card indicating that you've been through some rough times. Times might be turning around. Uh, Not quite yet. There's something, some kind of action, something you need to do in order to turn things back around into the positive. The next 2 cards kind of give us more information. You have the 8 of Swords here. Now, the 8 of Swords is the accountability card. This is the card of feeling like you're trapped, feeling like you're stuck, feeling like you don't have a choice in the matter. But most of us have a choice. Because even if we find ourselves in a situation that we feel like it's untenable, we still have a choice about how we feel about it. But many of us go through life saying, oh, I hate my job. Oh, my job is so terrible. And yet we get out of bed every day and we go to our job. Instead of getting out of bed, putting the social media down and dusting off the resume. Do you see what I mean? And many of us will go for years complaining about our job, but getting out of bed every day, picking up the social media, and leaving the resume with a layer of dust on it. And then we complain on social media. I hate my job. I hate my life. But we don't do anything about it. And then we say to our friends, oh my God, I'm so trapped. I can't get out of my job. Okay. That's the meaning behind this card. Harsh words, Virgo. And there's probably some of you right now who are going, click, I'm not watching her. But I'm speaking the truth. Is there a way out of it? Absolutely, there is. That's why it's called the accountability card. When we sit up and we take responsibility, when we are accountable for where we are at in our lives, things change and things shift in a pretty big hurry. You have the Four of Cups coming in for where you're at now as well. Now, this card also relates back to the Eight of Swords as well. The Four of Cups is about postponement. Okay. It's about procrastination. It's about, I can do it tomorrow. If you didn't dust off your resume this morning, what were you doing? Four of Cups. You were postponing the life that you could be leading. If you're not happy, if you feel like life is hard, change it. Take life by the horns. Take control. And I know, Virgo, trust me, I know. Times are tough right now. They're really tough. But like I said, even if you feel like you can't get out of the job that you're in, for example, that you don't like, or the relationship that you don't like, you can't leave right now because of money and finances and da 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 da. We still have one ace in the bag, and that is, how do we handle it? How do we feel? If we are in a position where we are drinking ourselves to sleep at night, waking up feeling miserable, if we are talking about it over and over and over again, we are reinforcing the negative. Whereas if we have an opportunity instead to go out for a walk with a friend and just say, and the friend says, how are you doing? And you say, same as yesterday, but I know tomorrow will be better. That immediately shifts a whole lot of the heaviness that this reading is starting out with. Let's dive into what you are working towards manifesting. That one, or that one, that one, or that one? This one. All right. Not quite on the floor. Let's pick it up. What are you focusing on? We know that our thoughts become our reality. And that's the other reason why, if we feel like we're trapped and like we're all bound up, and we reinforce that by our words and our actions, then it becomes a vicious circle. So I encourage you, Virgo, to make that change or that shift out of where you're at today. Because the two cards that I just pulled for you for what you are focusing on for the latter half of May are beautiful. You got the Lovers and the Three of Cups. The Lovers, I'm trying to get them to focus, but yeah. The Lovers and the Three of Cups. The Lover's card is not necessarily a romantic relationship, unless, of course, you happen to be single and seeking. And if you are single and seeking, this is an indication that you are focusing on bringing in your new perfect partner, and you are on the cusp of achieving that. If you are currently in a committed relationship and you are happy and satisfied in that relationship, this card may indicate a shift in the dynamic of that relationship to the positive. And if you are single and not seeking, this card may represent a new bestie coming in. It may represent a mentor or a teacher coming in order to help you and support you at this time. Then you have the Three of Cups. Now, the Three of Cups is a card of celebration. Look at that card. You've got three women on it. They're holding their glasses up under a full moon and cheers. Beautiful. This card also represents the seasons or the phases that or the cycles that we all go through. The Three of Cups is almost always represented by three women, representing the three phases that women all go through. And it also almost always has the moon on it as well. We know that the moon always goes through phases. For those of you who are not familiar, women go through the phase of being the maiden, the goddess, and the crone in her life, going from her before childbearing years to her childbearing years. That is when she is the goddess, to her after childbearing years, when she is the knowledgeable crone. So, this card brings to mind that even if you are feeling bound, and stuck and feeling like you want to come out of a difficult time and you need to move on and move forward, this card is reminding you that you can move back into celebration and that everything that we go through in life is a phase or a stage. Let's take a quick peek at your difficult influences and challenges. Let's not fall on the floor. Difficult influences and challenges for Virgo. Another one. Okay, let's take a look at what we have. All right. Difficult influences and challenges. We have, you had the Knight of Wands. Now you have two more wands in here. You have the Three of Wands and the Nine of Wands. It seems as though you have something that you need to take action on. So you do have the Three of Wands here, and the Three of Wands is typically a card of putting an idea out into the world so that there's a change or a shift. Normally you would make a decision, and then the Three of Wands is about taking action on that decision, putting an idea out there into the world. Um, Putting yourself out there into the world as well. I mean, you've got the Lovers here. You've got a bunch of cards here indicating that you're feeling like you're bound, like you're trapped. And then you've got the Lovers card and the Celebration card. And then in your difficult influences, you've got the Three of Wands. I'm going back to accountability here, Virgo. You have a responsibility to yourself that if you want to manifest the Lovers, you have to put yourself out into the world. A lot of people, after the movie The Secret came out, after the law of attraction became buzzword galore, and so on, a lot of people were under the false belief that you could sit at home doing this and that you would be able to manifest $1 million, the big, beautiful house, the perfect partner or lover. That's not reality. Eventually, you have to get off the couch. You have to get out of the lazy boy chair and you have to actually get out there. If you want to manifest the perfect job, it's fine to sit in that lazy boy and hold your hands in Gya Mudra and visualize yourself doing that job. But eventually, you have to actually get a resume out the door and out to the people who potentially have the ability to offer you that perfect job. If you want to manifest your perfect partner, it is fine to spend 15 minutes a day sitting on your couch, visualizing that person, journaling about the traits that you want to have your partner have. But eventually, you're going to have to get off that couch, brush your hair, brush your teeth, and go out the door and meet the person. Okay. The Nine of Wands, I mean, that's the Three of Wands. The Nine of Wands is somebody who is extremely determined. This is coming up in your difficult influences, kind of indicating that you've lost your mojo, you've lost your motivation, you've lost your drive to go out there and do things. Given that you have the Eight of Swords and the Four of Cups in where you're at now, it's not surprising. But who has the power and control to take the power and control of your life back. You do. And then you have the Hermit coming in your difficult influences. The Hermit coming in your difficult influences is indicating that you're not even at the point where you're sitting in Gaya Mudra on your couch or your lazy boy working towards a manifestation. You don't even know what you want right now. I would not be surprised if we begin to see a few cards about clarity here for you. That part of what you need to manifest in order for you to be able to manifest these two beautiful cards, the Lovers and the Celebration card, you have to have clarity of what you want. If you don't have clarity, the universe is just kind of throwing mud at you and seeing what sticks. Let's take a look at messages the universe wants you to hear at this time. Accept struggles as lessons. Accept struggles as lessons. Yeah, I mean, they are. Make each day count. Does that sound familiar? Get off the couch. Dust off the resume. Get off the couch. Go meet new people. You cannot manifest from your comfort zone. And what did I say before I even pulled out this card? I said, I would not be surprised if we see a card come out about you needing clarity. Message from the universe. Set your intentions, Virgo. If you don't have any clarity on what you want, if you have not set any clear intentions, the universe doesn't know what to give you. And while it's great that you've set these intentions and this is what you're focusing on, if you're not getting out there and doing anything about it, what's the universe going to do? Virgo, this is a really hard reading. I'm sorry. I don't like it when the cards come out this way and they have tough lessons for us. But then again, we learn the most from our toughest lessons, right? What's unexpected for you guys? Where are we going for unexpected? We're going back over here to the tarot. Unexpected for Virgo. That one's in my lap. Unexpected for Virgo. All right. Unexpected. You got the fantasy card. This is the Seven of Cups. And this is the Seven of Cups that represents that you have lots of choices and opportunities at this time. But that can also lead us into the place of living in a fantasy land going, ooh, I could have that, and I could have that, and I could have that, and I could have that. And what does that bring us? It brings us more postponement and confusion rather than setting our intentions and having that clarity. So watch for this coming up, Virgo. Make sure that you're not falling into the trap of the Seven of Cups, of having lots of opportunities presented to you, but then falling into a place of either being indecisive because there's too many choice, or kind of falling into that fantasy land of trying to manifest something that's completely unachievable at this time. I want to just clarify that. I'm getting told to clarify that last comment. There is a progression that the vast majority of the 8 billion people on this planet need to follow in order to achieve abundance, the perfect job, the perfect house, the perfect partner, and so on. You can't go from nothing to being a multi-million or billionaire like that. Okay. There's a progression. So when we begin working with law of attraction, when we begin working with manifestation, if our bank balance is 12 cents, it's unreasonable for us to believe that within 6 weeks we could have a bank balance of 12 million. Unless, of course, we happen to win the lottery, and we all know how often that happens to the 8 billion people on the planet. Okay. Do you see what I'm saying? There's a progression that needs to happen, and there's goal setting, and there is accepting our struggles as lessons, and there is making each day count. Okay. There's a cycle and a process. Remember, I said that this card, as much as it's about celebration, it's also about cycles and phases. There's a progression that needs to happen. And what this card is saying is, sorry, I forgot to silence my phone. Um, what this card is saying is it's not that it is inconceivable for you to be able to go from 12 cents to $12 million, but you have to manifest a job first, and you have to then set your intention to move up through that. You have to set your intention to then move into whatever it is to get to where you want to be. Okay, so that's what this card is unexpectedly bringing to you. And then you have the strength card coming in for your unexpected. The strength card is the reminder that you have the ability and the capacity to be able to get out of this, to get out of this. You have the ability and capacity. You have the strength, Virgo. You have the wherewithal. But you have to put the work in. Final general overall outcome, and then we are going to pull your yes, no cards. So prepare your question, your yes, no. I do apologize for the sniffles. It is a cold, rainy day out, and I am suffering a little bit here. All right, final general overall outcome. What are we getting here? All right, you'll notice that there's a few cards here that did not fall back into the deck, so we will pull those cards out. In your final general overall outcome, let's take a quick peek here. All right. We have the morality card. This is the card of coming to terms with what is potentially holding you back, what belief systems are holding you back. You have another card here that also is about belief systems. I'm going to pull them out of order here. This is the no thingness card. This card corresponds to the Hierophant from the traditional tarot. And this is the card of going back into that no thingness of who we were when we were born without any morality or any belief systems. Okay. These two cards are the guiding light for what is currently holding you back. When you're falling into the Eight of Swords and the Four of Cups, when you're postponing your whole life because you feel like you're trapped and you can't move on, chances are it's because of a belief system that you have somewhere in there. When you have the ability to clear that belief system out, that's when the magic starts to come in. And look at these cards. And we're ending off your reading with the exact same card from your last reading. So once you do the Hierophant work, once you do the morality work, once you identify the belief system that is holding you back, and it can tell you what it is, Virgo, if you really want me to. You can send me a message, put a comment down below. But there is one big belief system that is coming up here. It's a wound. And the vast majority of people alive on the planet today have the same wound. And when we heal that wound, that's when our life explodes and blossoms and becomes really, really meaningful. Bring it up in your consciousness. This is the Ace of Swords. This is about new beginnings. This card is about coming from a place of intellect, brand new ideas coming to the surface. So, for example, it's not uncommon when I'm working with clients who are starting a new business. It would not be uncommon to see the Ace of Swords come out with the Three of Wands, where they've come up with this brand new idea and then they're putting it out into the world. Do you see how the tarot works together here? But this was in your difficult influences, indicating you're hesitant to put something out into the world. But in your general overall outcome here, Virgo, you've got this card again saying there is brand new ideas brewing there for a new relationship, for a new partnership. The creativity card, this card corresponds to the High Priestess. Or sorry, the Empress. Nope, this is the High Priestess. Sorry. I had to look at the number at the bottom. This card corresponds to the High Priestess. Intuition, creativity. That's where your ideas are going to come from. Eight of Pentacles. You ended off your last reading with this card. The Eight of Pentacles is about putting in the work in order to achieve the success that we want. Okay? It's not about it all of a sudden manifesting overnight. It's not about going from 12 cents to $12 million like that. It is about the ordinary, everyday things that we need to put out into the world, the everyday work, but ultimately we'll achieve these big goals. All right, I'm going to leave it off there. That was a very, very difficult reading, but it's also very rewarding, Virgo, because when you've done this work, I can see the potential and I can see just over the horizon the changes that are coming. All right, bring to mind your yes, no question. And we already have a card out. All right. Ask your question once or twice. And your answer according to the cards. No need to worry. No need to worry. All right. Thank you very much to each and every one of you. Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe. And I will see you at the beginning of June.